welcome to the CRM Zen Show, where we talk about all things Zoho. This is episode 287, recorded on Friday, January 26, 2024, the perfect cadence. And from Zenatta Consulting, I am back. I'm Brett Martin.
I'm Tyler Colt, and let's get right on into the show.
My goodness, I have been, it's been a crazy bit of time here, Tyler. I tell you what, we had the Christmas holidays, and then I took off to Florida to visit relatives for a week, and then I went on a 2-week cruise through the Panama Canal, left in Fort Lauderdale, and came back to LA. That was pretty cool. I have to say, amazing. A long cruise,
but long cruise.
You don't really you learn about the Panama Canal. I think it was elementary school, right? When they teach you that stuff, at least when I had. Man, that thing was completed in 1913, and it's still like fundamental for,
global
shipping
trade.
And traffic. Global trade. It's just insane. Anyway, I did a time-lapse video of the whole thing. It was crazy. I've got to post it because it was pretty interesting watching that and going through it. It takes almost 8 hours from the time you enter to the time you come out. You leave the Atlantic to coming out into the Pacific Ocean, but pretty wild, man. Pretty wild.
Yeah, very
great
cool
trip. I'm really glad to be back. So, here it is. Thanks for holding down the fort, you and Greg and Josh and everybody.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, man. Anyway, we've got a big news week. We should probably get right to it.
Yep, let's get on into it.
Let's do some announcements and events. Yes. Well, we've got Azaz. That'll come out next week. I'm going to make some changes to Azaz, I think, aren't we? So stay tuned for that. I think you guys are just going to appreciate that a little more. And then we've got our Zoho Recruit full product overview. Who's doing that? Because it's not me. Have you picked who's going to be doing that?
I don't know. TBD. I think that's TBD right now in terms of who's going to.
You know what we have to do that we talked about? We were going to do, instead of Zoho 1, we were going to run through all the Zoho apps and go through our resource library. Weren't we going to set it? I think probably need to set some time apart. Did we set aside time for that? And I just forgot.
I don't think we've put it on the calendar quite yet. Yeah, what we're talking about, if no one's heard us rant about it before, obviously on the website, we've got our full resource library that covers every single app, what we think about it, all of our content. Normally every year we go through and do a Zoho 1 overview. But we're finding, things like Trainer Central, FSM, more people are asking about those, and we don't always cover them. So we were thinking of doing just a full run through of everything and kind of our opinions on it. That'd be a 2-3 hour webinar. So maybe it needs to be a part 1, part 2 type of deal. But definitely.
Well, it was an hour and a half. Last time we did it, it was an hour and a half, right? Just Zoho 1. And I think if we ran through our entire resource library, it would be just, I don't know. We could do it. We have new sections on it now, right?
We do.
So, let's see what we got. Did you know it's been completely revamped? They finished it.
Into the new categories.
Yeah, so we've got, if you're watching us on YouTube now, it used to be yes, no, maybe. Now it's definitely. So what do we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4. What's 6? 1, 2, 3. Looks like we had 26 apps there in the definitely category, and then probably 24 apps, and then maybe 6. So that's maybe's better than not quite yet, isn't it? It's better.
And a lot of those we found like some of our categories with yes, maybe, no were too broad. Because there were a lot of things that used to be in maybe that were much more like a probably, like Zoho Books, right, was a maybe. But really, there's only a small handful of cases where that doesn't work for, most of our users. So thought we'd kind of redo some of this. Same thing with like campaigns, like FSM, right? It's not quite a definitely, right? Because there might be a handful of things it doesn't do perfectly. But again, for the vast majority of people, it's going to work great. So we thought it'd be a good idea to rename these accordingly.
Well, we could do 3 videos. We could do a definitely video, a probably video, and a maybe video. I don't know.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. Make it less than 3 hours long.
But if you don't know, if you head on over to zenatta.com/resources, you will find the ultimate resource library there as well. And if you click into any of the applications, really it's a nicely organized YouTube channel, if you will. It's every video we've ever done broken into various categories so it's worth taking a look at. We also, all the articles we have related to that product and all of the white papers we've collected. So it's all there. So you might want to head over and check out the resource library. That was an interesting way to do announcements and events. But we are going to be doing the People webinar. We are going to be doing the People webinar coming up here this month. And stay tuned for probably some sort of a full Zoho fandango. And Zoho's got a ton of events coming up as well. And to do that, just head over to club.zenatta.com and click on events, and you can see all the events that are going on there as well. And with that, Tyler, let's jump right on into the news. All right, so Google and Yahoo. Funny that they're both doing it at the same time, but for those still using Yahoo there, but if you're using Gmail, Google is really going to be tightening up all of their security, and that is starting in a week. Sometime in February, they're tightening this up. And I guess the big takeaway here is that you need to get DMARC set up. Yes? If you haven't done that before.
Definitely need. I mean, you should have always had SPF and DKIM records. You also now need DMARC as well, especially if you're sending from like a gmail.com address. I mean, really shouldn't be doing that much from a CRM, but if you are, you'll definitely need DMARC. Basically, all of these are just ways for Gmail. When somebody sends me an email, Gmail wants to figure out if they're a validated sender to use that domain, right? To make sure that some goober isn't just trying to send as Brett at Zenatta and have it land in my inbox. So they're going to be tightening up a lot of these rules. And essentially, it sounds like your email's not going to be delivered if you don't have at least SPF and DKIM. Where back in the day, it was a higher likelihood of landing in spam. Now it's going to be the majority of emails that don't have this set up are going to land in spam. Good news is most of these are pretty darn quick to configure, right? It's not a huge amount of time and effort. But nonetheless, get this on the list. Make sure that it's done before we head into February. This will need to be done for all apps. So make sure that you've got it for desk, for CRM, for campaigns, really anything that you're sending emails out of, just to make sure that they land in the appropriate inbox.
Yeah, we're actually, if you're watching us on YouTube, we're showing you the desk article. In the newsletter, we've kind of collected the various articles for every single Zoho app as they're publishing them. So you can easily go there and, find the exact settings and where you need to go to get that all set up. Anyway, a little PSA for you there. And moving right along to a brand new, super cool enhancement to Zoho CRM. They are unveiling something called Cadences Studio. It is in beta, early access right now. Again, in the newsletter, we'll have the link to request early access. You can go ahead and apply for that. But this looks to me at first glance to be kind of a blueprint workflow. I don't know. It's almost like you're setting up a drip campaign kind of thing for cadences, for what's going to happen. Like if a client does this, then send them an email. And if this call disposition is this, then do this. And you kind of, do I have that right? Is that what they're doing here?
Yeah, essentially what you're doing here, if you're watching us on YouTube, visually it makes a lot more sense to look at it. So if you're just listening, make sure to check out the newsletter and take a look at the article. But essentially what you're doing is, let's say you send email number 1, you'll now be able to configure it where, let's say they click that email, you set up a call that you're going to make to them tomorrow. If they reply to it, maybe you do some type of auto reply email. If, it's been 2 days and they haven't opened it, then let's make a task to do X, Y, or Z, right? So it's essentially like a lot of this could be done in the workflow builders inside of CRM, but it gets a little clunky because what you have to do is, let's say, use workflow 1 to send an email, then set up a different workflow based on the emails to look for opens of emails with the subject line that you sent in workflow 1. So all of a sudden, to build a cadence like this, you've got like 4 or 5 different workflows that are each doing
we've done that.
part. And we've done that, and it does work. It actually works great. I use it sometimes in our own system. But reality is, for a lot of people, if you're building a flow that's going to be 7, 8, 9 steps long, sure is nice to have that in one spot, right? Just so that if you want to make an update, you don't need to dig through 10 different workflows. It's like, hey, everything that's driving the lead engagement is in this one place. Just go there to make those edits. So yeah, it's really nice functionality, really good way of bringing it all together. I do like that they're bringing in the ability to create tasks and calls and activity records as well. When I first saw it, I was worried it would be email only. But the ability to create a task, because for a lot of people, it's like, hey, let's send them this email or a couple emails. If they open all three, now they're worth calling, right? We want to make sure they're somewhat interested in what we're doing. So yeah, really nice functionality here. It'll be interesting. You do have kind of tighter limits for how many automated emails you can send from CRM. So this isn't going to replace like call it your marketing emails. This is more for like prospecting and sales focused emails, right? Of people who have in some way
I sent out a proposal and, I want to have a follow-up email, and did they respond? And if they signed the proposal, all those kind of things where then I want to have a task. It's just kind of that simple type of follow-up, I think. I think it's very nice.
It is. It's really good. And like you mentioned, the big one there is like reply tracking or like the email activity tracking, because that's just what you had to do with totally separate workflows before to be able to do it, right? Where it's like you're listening for an email. If they reply to an email with the subject line of blank, you make some field update that cancels the original workflow, so it's like you could do it, but it wasn't very intuitive for people who haven't spent a lot of time in the workflows settings.
Now you can't.
Really nice update.
You can't fire off Deluge here, though, right?
You cannot fire off Deluge. Yeah, that's not supported. Hopefully, it will be at some point. Just because there are cases where, like, I don't know, if somebody responded to a certain email, you might want to take an action that only a function can do, right? Like maybe add them to some third-party tool. Reality is, you could still break that out into a workflow. Yeah,
but you could force it. You could say, if this happens, then check a box, and if that box gets checked, then fire off a workflow, right?
You could have a separate workflow. You could still make that happen. It would just be nice to have it all in one place. Reality is, though, like the use case for custom functions and something like this is like less than 90% of the time, right? Like it's probably 10% of cases you might want a function. Most people are going to be off to the races with just the activities and emails here. So yeah, big shout out to Zoho. Really nice to see this improvement. It's something we get asked all the time. People will show like a Sales Loft implementation and they're like, can Zoho do this? I'm like, yes, but it's going to look really different. Where now you could say yes, and it will look pretty much the same as how you have it set up and some of those more automated outreach tools. So yeah, good job to Zoho. This is one I'm really excited to tinker with, and I'll probably make a full video walkthrough of this for us at some point in the next week or so, because I think this will be really valuable for people.
Fantastic. And moving on with another new product that was released last year that now Zoho is making enhancements to, Zoho CPQ, Configure, Price, and Quote, now gets support for subforms and custom modules inside the CRM. Have we done much with CPQ currently? We're starting to roll this out?
Done it for a couple clients. It's pretty good. I mean, like, obviously, if you go with a tool that's like built for CPQ and that's all they do is CPQ, yeah, you're going to have some bells and whistles that it can do that maybe this can't. But it is pretty darn good. I mean, you can set up like required or suggested cross sells of certain items, really, really dynamic pricing lists based on like customer or field on customer and volume. Like you can get pretty darn granular with these. When they originally rolled them out, it only worked on the like quotes module, the CRM default quotes module. A big use case of that we've found is like someone might do the quote section, like that subform on a deal. So they get everything on a deal. And then once it's done, they want to press a button and make it an invoice in books. Right? And they don't really want to use the native quotes modules. So now essentially anywhere that you've got a subform that has a product lookup, it will still definitely need to look up the products module. You can essentially enable the CPQ for it, which is really cool. I mean, nice feature, tons of use cases for this, even things that aren't traditional CPQ. Like one use case that one of our customers is using this for is not for like quoting items or doing any bulk discounting, but they have customers with different subscribed service levels, call it like gold, silver, bronze. and they get different pricing on service for like machines that they have on site. So now you could actually just use a quick little CPQ rule to set those prices on a deal or on a case or wherever you might have this service being logged and still have it apply. So really nice. I could definitely imagine using this at implementations.
Yeah. I mean, and what this tells me is that people are using CPQ because this was clearly a requested feature from someone who's diving into it. And so,
someone
good
said,
stuff,
please, Zoho, please. And they decided to do it.
And yet another CRM update here. Multi-currency support for trial editions, profile-based permissions to manage currency actions, log, and more. So if you're using the CRM, and it's a trial edition, so maybe this is only for trial editions. I think this is for everything. I guess this is only for trial editions. So do you already have this in regular editions? You must. So if you're using a trial edition of CRM and you want to manage your currencies, you can now do so. And what this really is just setting up your overall, how you want to see your currency. Do you use comma separators? Do you use, decimal points? Are you using dollar signs? What's your code symbol? You can set it up based on each and every currency and set it up properly so that, it's the way it displays the way you want to see it. A small little update. It is not available in the US data center though. So it's available globally, but not in the US data center. I can't imagine that it matters much because it's free, standard, and professional editions and the trial versions of those. My guess is this says, I'll have to look, Tyler. Is it available in enterprise across the board?
Yeah,
already?
not quite. I mean, it looks like they've got some new functionality in the currency management that should be rolling out, like down at the tail end. I guess this is in the what's next section, but the dynamic exchange rate update, I know it doesn't do that now. So some of this stuff might be new. Also, I had no idea that the Indian number format was different. They put commas every 2 numbers instead of every 3. If you scroll up a little, I had no idea.
Really?
Yep. Looks like they do 3 for the hundreds, and then once you get to the thousands, they start doing commas every 2 numbers, every 2 digits. That would break my brain trying to read that.
That would cause
little differences, right? That would absolutely break my brain in half if I tried to do it.
That would cause a lot of problems there. What base system is that? I mean,
not sure.
That doesn't really make any sense. I mean, we're all on base 10 right now, and I guess that's, I don't know. All right, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Good catch. You think that's just an error?
No, that's what they did on purpose. Yeah.
Wow. Look at that. Yeah, you're right. I'm seeing it. That's crazy. Well, there are a lot of currencies like the rupee where was I recently? Or the currency rate, it broke my, talk about breaking your brain. We were in Colombia on this trip, and you go to buy something and it's like, $5 million dollars. It's really one of those things where, okay, time to devalue your currency and time to, reestablish it because that's not making a lot of sense.
You shouldn't have to.
Anyway, nice job,
currency.
Zoho and currencies. And I'm not sure we were very clear as to what's going on here, but here you go. You can read it yourself. It's in the newsletter. All right. And then over on Bigin, and I believe, Tyler, you are now a certified Bigin professional, right?
I am certified. Yep. Zoho has opened up a lot of new certifications. So yeah, I'm now Sales IQ admin, signed, and Bigin certified. Not sure why I picked those 3.
We went through and I think, are we certified as a company now in every single Zoho product you can be certified in?
Almost all of them. There are some that they're technically not offering that they have. Like they allegedly have a book certification, but you can't sign up for it.
Okay.
Not sure why. But yeah, we're pretty much certified or soon to be certified in like every cert that they offer at this point. Except maybe some of the apps. I mean, one of our consultants went and got people certified, which I didn't expect anybody to do when we put that open offer out there. But yeah, George is now people certified. Yeah, I believe so.
Oh my goodness, poor George. Yeah, when I saw he signed up for that, I thought, what a glutton for punishment. But that's great. And now we can give George all the people clients. So that's
yeah, there
works
you
out
go.
well. Anyway, Bigin now has a dashboard drill down. And if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're familiar with the CRM, basically you're looking at a dashboard and maybe it's got stat columns or whatever. When you click into the chart on any dashboard, it then will take you to a breakdown of the data points that make up whatever chart you're looking at. And then you can kind of drill down further into that. Before, it just kind of used to give you a basic list. Now it actually gives you much more detail. You can really kind of dive into what's going on. I like this because it seems to be doing it in nice little pop-ups that all kind of live on the same page in the same window. In CRM, it just opens new tab, new tab, new tab, new tab, new tab as you kind of go through. You have to do the same thing in CRM. It's just opening a new tab every time.
Yeah.
But this is just kind of just doing nice dynamic little windows.
Yeah.
And,
the big thing that would be nice to see in CRM and Bigin for these drill downs, we'll do one of our classic, if you're listening, Zoho, we need to be able to customize what is on that list. So like when you do a drill down in CRM, like Brett's saying, it's kind of the same if you're watching us on YouTube as what we're seeing here with Bigin. The issue is I can't control what columns show up on this. So a lot of times people are like, okay, when I drill down on a deal, I want to see the account name. It's like, nope, you get what you get. And there's no way to customize it. It'd be nice to be able to reference some type of like custom view or something, right? Just so that we can define what those columns should be. Still, this is a nice update inside of Bigin. I'd like the fact that, like you're saying, it's not a new window, right? You can kind of drill down further within the pop out. So it's like, a list pop out and then you can get an individual record pop out after that. So yeah, better than
and you can
even
interact. You can even interact with the record on the pop out too, so which is
definitely better than the CRM one. Not sure why it would be done in Bigin, not there, but nonetheless, be nice to see this on CRM side.
Bigin's the mystery of the universe, man. This whole application. Anyway, it's getting better and better. I'm just waiting for one day when they announce that CRM no longer exists and it's all Bigin. But that's probably never going to happen. But anyway, nice little dashboard drill downs for Bigin. And lastly, we'll wrap up the news with Writer. Got a really kind of cool update where you now can define character styles. So if you're used to using any sort of word processing program, you can highlight some words and you can say, make this header 1, make it header 2, make it header 3, make it this, make it that. Well, you can now highlight some text, format it the way you want, and set that up as a specific character style and go ahead and choose that style, and that will be applied whenever you highlight text.
Yeah, really nice.
Thank you, Tyler, for explaining to me what that actually was after we watched this 5 times.
Took me a couple read-throughs. Yeah, definitely took me a couple read-throughs, but we got there eventually.
Well, yeah. But very cool. I mean, the Wire team just keeps I don't think I've seen this in any word processor ever.
Yeah, the ability to save them.
Define your own character style. I just love that. I mean, that's really cool. So good job. And with that, Tyler, let's head on over to our implementation of the week.
Alrighty, so this is one that George, who we just talked about earlier with our now people certified George, worked on together for one of our clients. Essentially, this is customer validation and transfer from a third-party call center to our client. And the way we're doing it is using Zoho Analytics, Forms, and CRM. So kind of the short story of the goal is that our client provides a service to a group of subscribers. When those subscribers call in, or when anybody calls into the number, they'll be routed to a third-party call center, where that call center will validate that this person is an active subscriber and take a couple notes before pushing them over to my client's employees. Because technically, phone number's on the website. I'm not a subscriber. I could just call in and try to get free service. So we have to have this validation step. And the second part is that once they validate that this person is a real customer, they needed a way to enter a couple quick notes, submit that, and have it route directly to our client's employees. So to solve for this, first thing we did is created a Zoho Analytics report that shows only the list of active customers. This report is very, very, very minimal in what it shows. So really all they're able to do is validate the person's name, as well as one other piece of information that we display on this report that essentially makes sure that we know this John Smith is the John Smith we're talking about, because he never would have known this secondary piece of info unless he was the right person. Then on that analytics report, we actually added a URL field. The URL field, the third-party call center can click that, and it will open up a Zoho form that's been pre-filled with, the customer's name, the unique data that they use to validate, and a section to add some notes. What it also does is it sneaks a couple CRM record IDs into hidden fields so that when the form is submitted, we know exactly which customer we need to link up this request to. So when they submit that particular form, it runs through Zoho Flow and creates what we call a request record inside the CRM that connects to the appropriate customer and gets assigned to the relevant member of our client's team that should be handling that particular request. So basically just takes care of that whole flow of validating that the customer is the customer and that we should be providing services, automates the handoff from that call center into our client system, and then does the assignment and tracking of that request all natively in CRM where they can work and get it solved for the customer. So nice build. This is kind of one that I started and then handed off to George, and he kind of got it across the line with a couple extra feature updates and improvements. And it's working well for the customer already. They've already started using it.
Fantastic. Very, very slick. Cool. Always amazed
Power
by
of analytics.
I'll tell you what, it's funny how many things analytics gets used for that to really, I don't know if it was intended use, but fantastic. All right. And with that, let's head back over to Club Z and check out our co-chair of the week. Mr. Andrew Gritton, developer at large, developer extraordinaire, is QuickBooks customer query. We get asked, we do a lot with QuickBooks. Oftentimes, there are a lot of things when people will move to Zoho where there's just like, for internal purposes, they can't switch or for whatever reasons. And QuickBooks Online is one of the big ones, right? They've got an accountant. The accountant is just dead set. They're not going to move to Zoho Books. Or maybe they've got so much stuff set in, they don't want to move. But you really, really do want to maybe, pull some information. You want to provide some information over in the CRM. You want to surface some things like, is this invoice available? So the beautiful thing is that QuickBooks has an open API. And because of that, we are able to do some rather interesting things. And in this case, we're doing a customer query.
It's kind of like
putting it into the CRM, yeah?
Yeah, a couple things you could do with this. I mean, what Andrew's kind of showing is specifically using like a REST API to do this. So a common thing that we'll do for a customer is, like you said, they are on CRM. They're also using QuickBooks. We say, hey, do you want to migrate to Zoho Books? They say no for whatever reason. We say, no big deal. Stay on QuickBooks. Then they might ask later, well, it sure would be nice if when I was in an account in CRM, I could see all those invoices, right? And know if they're paid, know if they're not. And we'll do that with an XML related list. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but this is one option where essentially what Andrew's doing here is saying, hey, use this code as part one to find the matching customer in QuickBooks. From there, you could do whatever you want. You could update that customer. You could pull data back in. You could find their invoices and show them. That's up to you. But the big thing here is there's a couple little bits of data cleanup. Like you see there on the third and fourth line, he's kind of doing some replaces, right? He's getting rid of some characters that can cause problems in this flow. He's doing a bit of encryption. There's kind of a right way to make this API call. Then from here, now what you have is the QuickBooks customer ID. And now you can get whatever you need, right? Because that's the ID that you'll need to get those invoices, update that data, whatever it may be. This is kind of step one that will tee you up to easily do whatever else that you need to do interacting with that QuickBooks data.
Very cool. Very cool. And I know we've mentioned it before, but this is over on Club Zenatta. And Club Zenatta is our online social community where you can talk to other like-minded Zoho people ask questions, interact, ask us questions over at Azaz, read our coach chairs. Oh, it's just a great place to hang out and spend an afternoon, So head on over to club.zenatta.com, sign up, join the community. All we ask is your email just so that we can validate that you are you. And that is it. Look, Freddie's got some quiz series going right now. Oh, there's so much fun. You could spend a whole afternoon here, really, and never get bored, Tyler. Never get bored.
I do it every day.
You just want to hang out, and it's the place to be. I mean, sometimes when I'm lonely, this is where I go, and then I'm cheered up, and I'm not sad anymore.
I believe it.
Okay. Yeah.
I believe it. I'm getting choked
All
up.
Right.
Yeah. It just means so much.
It does. It does. All right, guys. And with that, let's head over to Zenatta.com, not to be confused with clubzenatta.com. See what's happening over there. We've got a new blog post, building customized business solutions with Zoho Creator. Well, that's a pretty broad topic there, Tyler, because man, can you build some custom business solutions? And we have built some doozies. And Josh has a whole series of YouTube videos around building these things and doing it. So if you've never checked out Zoho Creator, this article might be a great place to start to give you an idea of some of the capabilities and some of the things you can do, because it's one of the best low-code tools out there, I think. Just
it's a great platform. I think what you learn is that it's a medium code platform. I mean, a lot of low-code platforms, it's like you kind of need to code to get the full benefit and functionality out of it. But good news is, Josh has actually made a bunch of videos of how to do a lot of those common low-code activities that you can basically copy-paste. Obviously, you'll have to change a little thing here and there, but he gives you a pretty clear roadmap in this video series of a lot of the common things, showing fields, hiding fields, right? Like that type of, optimization of the app. Well worth taking a look at. I mean, Josh is kind of the guy when it comes to creators. So if you're going to learn from somebody, why not learn from the best?
He's been doing it. The very, very first time I met Josh was, how many years ago was that, you guys?
In 2017, I think, when you would have met. Maybe 2018.
17? Probably 17, yeah. And he was there. He'd built out some sort of platform for drone sales or something like that. It was all done in
laptop flipping as well, like identifying good deal laptops, refurbing, and then flipping them. Yeah, it's a whole multifaceted app, but also integrated with the warehouse security systems, a live camera feed.
Yeah.
He's been doing this for quite a long time at a pretty darn high level.
Yes. Fantastic. Anyway, if you don't know, head over to Zenatta.com. We have a blog that drops every single week. We mentioned earlier on the show our resource library. You will want to check that out. All the events are there. Club Z, all the CRM Zen shows. It's all there. You can go through our podcasts. We also, in our login section, it came to someone's attention. We always had the client portal. We always had Club Zenatta, but we never had a link to our training courses. And so now that's been added over there at Zenatta.com. And by the way, if you don't know, check out our training courses. Team training for pretty much the key products right now. What do we have? We've got CRM, we've got Desk, we've got projects, and soon to come marketing automation. Yeah.
Yeah. Marketing automation. And then after that will be books, finance, accounting, be going through the whole suite throughout the course of the next little while here.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, let's wrap this thing up and head over to our YouTube channel and check out our tip of the week. All righty. John with a timely tip on creating accurate 1099 reports in Zoho Books. So if you are a Zoho Books user, John has compiled a 6-minute and 56-second video teaching you how to get your 1099s and get them all dialed in and done. So if you are a Zoho Books user, there you go. I love this
so
kind
timely.
Of content.
It's almost like we did it on purpose, releasing it during this time of the year. Almost like we intentionally are putting this out because everyone needs to do it right now.
Oh, I'm so proud of myself. I'm actually booked a meeting with our accountant on the 9th of February. I'm going to have everything done on the 9th. Not waiting this
Beautiful.
year. Getting it all
It's a
done.
dream.
I know. And if you haven't headed to our YouTube channel, head over to youtube.com/Zenatta. That is where we keep track of, well, no, it's where we keep track of anything. That is where all of our videos live. We're up to 14,700 subscribers. So we are about 2.5 weeks away from 15,000. That's pretty cool.
Just about.
We have
big milestone.
618 videos. The train keeps rolling. We keep making videos. I contend that we probably produce more content on Zoho than anybody in the world, including Zoho themselves. And if you haven't, if you're looking for it, my goodness, it's probably here. And if not, let us know. As a matter of fact, Tyler, the other day, someone pointed out to me a potential client who came to us because they love our videos. They go, "You haven't done anything on Zoho Sprints." And sure enough, we haven't done a single video. So let's add that to our things we need to do. But anyway, check out our YouTube channel. If there is something missing like that, let us know. More than likely, we'll make a video about it. And we hope you find it useful. And with that, Tyler, I guess another CRM Zen Show is in the can.
Yeah, it's great having you back. And we didn't even mention it, but it's your birthday this week. I know you don't like to mention it, but I feel it would only be fitting to say happy birthday on our show here this week.
Well, we were talking before. I mean, time you can't stop it. It just keeps happening, you know.
It's that one thing that you can't seem to stop. Yeah. It's a shame.
No. And things you think will never happen. All of a sudden you're like, oh, I'll never be that old. And then boom, there you are, you know. But thank you very much. But yes, looking forward. I'm going to have a birthday weekend, going to my favorite restaurant tomorrow night. And, you know, going to hang out. Tina's got some plans for me this weekend that I don't know. My calendar said make no plans. So don't know what's going on. I hope we're not traveling.
Well, knowing Tina, it's got to be something good.
Oh, it's going to be amazing, I'm sure. So anyway, everyone, want to thank you so much for tuning in to yet another CRM Zen Show. What number was this again? Do you remember off the top of your head?
It was 287. Wow, 287.
My goodness gracious. We do appreciate all of your support. And as always, if you want to talk to myself or Tyler, well, just head over to Zenatta.com and click on book a meeting, and we would be happy to chat with you.
And on the website is also where you'll find complete episodes of the show, as well as links to all the stories we discussed today. If you want that news delivered straight to your inbox every Monday morning, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter. And last but not least, we always appreciate when you like and subscribe here on YouTube, as well as your choice of podcast app. We will see you next Friday.
Take care, everybody.